Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the very first Immortal Battle Report. My name is Thomas Jack Tack Labonte. I am the user experience lead for Sunspear Games. I am the RTS mechanic and the guardian of the noobs. I am here to help make RTS a little bit more fun and extremely less frustrating than it's been in the past. I'm going to talk all about that as we go through this battle report. So first off, we can see some basic RTS concepts that you, if you've played an RTS before, should be familiar. That's a gathering of resources over here. That's alloy on the right. And there's a construction of a spirally spinning ether extractor up in the north. Now we're going to move over to the bottom team. If you look at your minimap, you should be able to orient yourself. Here we are at the bottom team. Couple of expansions starting to get taken here, and those are Legion Halls building. Those are the Tier 1 production structure for the Karath, and they're going to allow these players to make their first basic units and begin to fight for Pyre out on the map. These ether extractors, as you might imagine, extract ether. Ether is our secondary resource. You can see that in the bottom right, represented by the little crescent. And oh man, we already have some spicy things happening here. We have a proxy reliquary. Reliquary is the Tier 2 production structure of the Karath. And you may have noticed that Red has not yet built the Tier 1 production structure. What is this? Well, this is a game without a tech tree. Okay, guys? We're starting in the beginning. We're developing the features as quickly as we can. And tech tree is most definitely on that list. So in the meantime, the playtesters get to have a lot of fun abusing these temporary metas and things going on, and that is sort of the way of it. The fact that generally everything's operating as we want it to in the large sort of design philosophy type things, right? We have a stronger defender's advantage here with the vision provided by this tower, and we have a lot of retreatability. All the unit speeds are close together, so players can safely go out on the map, and if they get themselves into a losing fight, they can retreat. Very, very important for making sure that players are incentivized to go out on the map and interact with their opponents and with the objectives out on the map. Keeps the action going, keeps things interesting, and it gives players something to focus on. When you load into a game with traditional RTS, it can be a little bit difficult to know, oh, well, what do I got to do now? Well, in Immortal, one of the main things that you can do is go out and fight these Pyre camps. We can see Blue doing that right now, and each camp will give you 30 Pyre. We have a lot of room to grow in the camp section. We can definitely create a more interesting camps in the future, and we have the Zephyr. For those of you who've been following along at home, the Zephyr has undergone a design change. The Zephyr used to be a short-range unit, but now it is an AoE melee unit. It spins around dealing damage in an area of effect around it. And running through, Red is going to take care of all these workers, which is quite devastating for the economy of Team Ice, the blue and teal team. Team Fire taking an early lead in what's called map control. Fast units are very good at getting map control, and it's sort of an esoteric idea, but it just means that it's very difficult for Team Ice to move out on the map when they're constantly dealing with these threats of the harassment, the Zephyrs coming in and wiping out their lines. So yeah, another one of the things that's not currently in place is, you might notice there's no traditional static defense buildings. It's not because no one wants to build them, it's because they're not here yet. This is part of the joy and the excitement of being part of this experience early on. You know, we get to see these things that we expect in an RTS slowly coming online, feature by feature. We get closer and closer to launch, basically. We're really glad to have to be taking all you friends on the journey with us, trying to figure this out. So, ooh, Pillar of the Heavens coming down in a sneaky location. Tried to get a big hit off, but it looked like blue was paying attention. No losses there. Another bit of harass, this time from the right side, and slow reaction times from teal and blue. I'm going to see some more workers go down, and this is one of the many styles that you can play in Immortal. You can see the red player going for a very indirect style, very indirect fighting style, whereas the whole of Team Ice, blue and teal, have very much taken this more direct engagement style. Ooh, sniping a Magi there, and potentially another one. One Magi will live. Those are very powerful spellcasters that are made of paper. So if a heavy breeze comes by, they will fall down. They're vulnerable. They're very important to protect. But if you can protect them, they'll net you a lot of power in the ability to create hallowed ground, but also in a passive healing ability that's quite powerful. So, looks like Team Ice is going to pretty much clean all this stuff up. They've been weathering the storm. Oh, and a big attack on the other side of the map. Big attack while all this harassment has been cleaned up. The attack is going to come through here. Mostly fighting units, though, unit to unit, and this is a 2v1. Blue's not going to be able to sustain this for a long period of time, and this, I think, was a mistake by blue overall. Traded out a bunch of units, which is pretty nice, but ultimately no economic damage, no long-term damage to Team Fire, and that's really what they need right now, as they've been losing their long-term economic advantage from all of these Zephyrs. Man, red is on top of it with the Zephyr harassment pretty much all game. And going to continue on. Big move out here from orange. Orange is sort of like the hammer of this team composition, and this is something that we do tend to see, right? One player will go for a particular play style, and the other player will not necessarily go the same play style, but goes into a sort of supportive role where, okay, you're going to be harassing a lot, then I'll make sure that the main army engagements go well to the best of their ability, right? If one player can cut down the economy of the other team in half, then you only need one army to defeat two. However, that's not going to work out once we get to population cap, as is true in all RTS with population cap. Very important thing to move the game. Oh, we got a couple of thrones in here. Aggressive blink forward. This was an orange pillar, so they're getting the shield regen buff when they blink into that, oranges. That fight seems to be going pretty well for Team Fire. Been really pushing forward. In the meantime, they've managed to take one of the bases in the top right corner, and then the full left base as well. So long-term advantage continuing to net here for Team Fire. A very sort of Serral-like play. Very sort of almost Spoon Terran play, you might imagine, for those of you who recognize the ancient memes. Just really taking that Ice team apart bit by bit. Team Ice is going to have to figure out some way to move in here and get some damage, or perhaps take advantage of an overcommitment by Team Red. They're really looking for opportunities to get back into this game right now. Going to clear out that tower and hold this position. Very hard to walk up either of these ramps, but red seems to be leaving. Orange is going to be alone here for a bit. That may give an opportunity for Team Ice to make a move and move up the ramp, but man, that's a massive army, and the Magi just constantly making sure that everyone's HP is constantly topped off. Ooh, looks like orange is retreating, and that's going to give teal an opportunity to grab a couple of high-value units and take down a couple Hallowers. Zoning pillar there, keeping teal from moving down the ramp. Nice tactical positional play there from Team Fire. And it's also going to draw some of the aggro from the long-range Hallowers as well. And, oh, finally, here we go. Team Ice getting a 2v1 while Red's over on the left side of the map. Good positioning here. Good time to attack. Hopefully there's no overextension. It looks like a pretty good trade for Team Ice. If they can secure some bases off of this, that would be huge. But Red is coming for vengeance. Army doesn't look too big. And Orange is rebuilding. So this is the advantage of having that economy. The rebuild. Not quite so... or the loss of the battle isn't quite so bad. Because the rebuild is available. Because you have all this money from all these bases. Bases take a very long time to build. So you have to be really thinking about investing in a later stage of the game and really making sure you can control that space before you take your base. Oh, looks like we're going to get a little bit of 2v2 action out here in this open field. Both teams trying to get a good angle. And Team Fire is going to not take this fight. And there's actually harassment going on that just got cleaned up at that base. Red still harassing deep into this game. Orange being a little hesitant to take this camp. Might be creating a sandwich. Ooh, big commitment forward with that wind step. That's going to put Teal directly between the red and orange armies. Orange being very passive, though. As is red. Looks like we may get that sandwich after all. Bit of retreating here from Team Ice. Everyone just trying to get a good angle right now. As we're in this later stage of the game, this fight is so important. Rods dropping from the sky in every direction. We've got the thrones of blue flying around, dealing their damage. Looks like some focus fire is trying to go down on that retreating throne. A brave Magi shoots his shots, but in the meantime on the left side we have a huge Dervish army from red just pummeling this entire Team Ice with just so much damage. This is such a bigger army at this point, and I believe we have reached the point of no return here for this. Team Fire looking so strong, really controlling that central area of the map. But as we can see, if you look at the supply bar, there's a lot of red there. There's a lot of missing capacity to rebuild. The armies are quite small now, and this is what happens towards the end of the game. The mains are mined out. Less and less money is coming in. Each unit becomes so much more important in this late stage in the game. Really have to be careful. Spellcasters, especially Magi, are going to be very valuable right now, keeping your units healthy. And they're just chasing the throne down into the tower. Well, this looks like a red, a red pillar. Red's waiting for it to come in. And that's going to give a 50% attack speed boost for the units that are in there. So it does look like an aggressive spell. It does do damage, but also it gives you a buff. So a little bit of each here. Going to clear out that main tower. And you can't hear it, but this is where both players GG. Great work. It's been a really cool game of just sort of attrition, slow grind. Thank you to all the playtesters. See you again soon.